Hey there, gamers, racers, and motorsports fans. Welcome to another video here on A+ Sim Racing.
Left side.
In this episode of Praga Hotlaps, we're off to a little-known circuit called Bilsterberg. Now, if you've never heard of this circuit, I wouldn't blame you because I didn't know about it until I got into sim racing either. Specifically in RaceRoom, because I don't think this track is in any other sims that I know of. There might be a mod for Assetto Corsa, but I don't know about that. Bilsterberg is a private facility. They don't host any sanctioned events, so it's kind of like track day for members only. They have manufacturer testing and advanced driving instruction, I think for military and bodyguards and that kind of stuff. It's quite a challenging track. There's all different kinds of undulation, camber changes, blind turns. It's very tight and twisty, and near the end they've even got a very high speed turn, so it's got a little of everything. So this is one of the many tracks that I don't know all too well, but I have raced here a couple of times with the Can-Am Sim Sport community, which back then used to be the NARR community, and I think it was in the Aquila CR1 and one of the DTM cars, and it was a lot of fun. It's really challenging, but once you get comfortable with the layout and you know approximately how much speed you can carry through each turn, it really gets interesting. So let's get on board the Praga R1 and take a look at a lap around Bilsterberg. First thing to note is there are no marker boards coming into turn 1, so you need to find a brake marker. You can use the marshals on the right or the buildings on the left. I use second gear for this hairpin. I find first gear has too much of a risk of spinning. Just come off the throttle a little bit coming into this turn, get back on the throttle, shift up to fourth, maybe have to modulate coming over that crest. Start braking just before those poles on the left there as you turn into the right, quickly back to the left. You're going to accelerate and come off the throttle a little bit as you crest this, maintain it, and get back on the throttle as soon as you can. Start braking before that pole on the right and get ready for this downhill and then left. Again, coming over these crests, you want to come off the throttle a little bit and just use enough to drive the car through. You don't want to get wheel spin or your whole car is going around on that section. Keep it pinned for this blind right. There is enough room there. When you come up to these poles on the right, you want to start braking and get ready to turn in. It's a bit of a downhill, so don't use too much throttle. Again, here, careful coming over this crest. You can use a lot of throttle, but I wouldn't go full throttle over the top. You get a short brake for this flat out section, coming up to a high speed left. Use as little brake as you can, and you'll have to experiment with how much speed you can carry through here, and maybe adjust the car setup so you get more downforce. For this section, you have to be brave and trust that the car will carry the speed in through there, but slowly start applying the brakes before you get too far into it. You should be down in second gear for that hairpin coming onto the start-finish straight. So I was quite happy with this lap time at a 1:34.599, which the leaderboard rounded up to 0.6. So now let's take a look at the AI at level 110 and see how they lap at Bilsterberg. So the AI is taking this turn in first gear, where I prefer to do it in second. I'm not sure which one is technically better, but I will advise caution if you try to use first gear in this car. Take note of how the AI is using the throttle coming over the crests of the hills throughout this track. So through that last section of hills, the AI was modulating the throttle because it wasn't quite up to speed to use all the downforce, whereas that hill, by the time you get to the crest, you're using a lot of the aero downforce, so you can take it flat out. Whereas a crest like this one right here, it's a mid-speed, so you don't have a lot of that grip that you really want. Down the back straight and coming up to the high-speed left, the AI starts braking just by the second set of pylons and uses 5th gear. And then back on the throttle, up to 6th. And this last braking zone is a little bit tricky because you can't brake in a straight line, so you have to be cautious. Brake early and don't use too much pressure. And this lap turned out to be a 1:34.4. So that puts me only 0.2 seconds off the pace of the AI at 110, which for me on a track like this I think is really good. I don't know where I pulled that pace from. I went into this thinking I would be at least 2 seconds behind the pace. So I'm quite pleased with the results, and I really enjoyed making this video. Lapping at Bilsterberg is a lot of fun. It's basically a roller coaster, and in a car like this that has the aero grip when you're at speed, it makes it really interesting. But you have to remember that if you're at the mid or low speed, it's all mechanical grips. You can't push too hard, otherwise you're gonna spin. Well, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.